It's enough, I think. It's enough, I think.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the
Hey,
Green live stream. I'm Edie, and I think most of my regular viewers know that, and also know my wonderful co-host, Mr. Scott Free. How's it going, Scott?
doing good. Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Been a crazy week. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. It's always, well, I don't know. 2025 every week is crazy. So,
I had this thought right when I woke up this morning. I know this is an aside, but like um, numbers relating to like guns. 44 was Obama, right? 45, Colt 45.
oh, okay. That's
I'm
an
like,
interesting.
are
I
they
have
just
never,
weapons for the duopoly? I don't
I hadn't thought of it that way. Hmm.
know. It's one of those, you just wake up and you're like, oh, hmm.
Hmm.
So I think we got a good show for you today. We still don't have a producer, so we'll try to get to comments. But the first story is all about Ansar Allah. Scott, I'll put it up if you want to talk about it. I was going to talk about the ceasefire.
Yeah. Yeah, Trump says bombing of Yemen to stop as Oman confirms U.S. They say Houthi ceasefire. They like to do that. Houthi was a family that kind of started, but it's Ansar Allah. It's, although I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it's a much larger group, and it's really the group that organization that runs Yemen. So, and yeah, there's I also wanted to. I don't know if that's a slide. Okay, there we go. Yeah, President Donald Trump has announced the United States is abandoning its daily bombing campaign of Yemen based on an understanding with Ansar Allah as Oman confirms that it has broken a ceasefire between Washington and the armed group. And I just wanted to post something from Struggle La Lucha, and it says Yemen stands firm, U.S. bombing campaign has halted. And that is a million Yemeni march with Palestinian flags chanting the slogan, "We are with you until victory," as they stage a protest against Israel attacks on Gaza. I think the really interesting thing about it is that Yemen just seems to be the people of Yemen seem to be the country with the most awareness. They a lot of times they will have posters of other leaders, people who have been killed in other countries, like Lebanon, and they had the Aaron Kushnell. Did I say that right?
Bushnell.
Yeah,
Bushnell.
Bushnell.
Hmm.
They had posters of him right after he died, and so they're just it's a much more aware country,
Yeah.
and they are the only ones fighting. So so it's really exciting that they have been really successful in their
More than a
campaign.
million Yemenis, wow, marched with
Yeah,
Palestine flags. And I think they're more aware because they've been suffering a similar fate. You know, Saudi Arabia has been attacking them for God knows how long
right.
with US backed support. Um, I mean, they get it on a level that most people don't. And also, you know, Israel bombed the Freedom Flotilla, which when that came up last week, there's so much news in the ether that it's hard to keep up and still,
And
maintain.
I think it's a religious based morality. I mean, I think that it's a Muslim concept that is really driving them. And unfortunately, we don't have in my Christian world we have very little of that equivalence, right? It's sad, but I mean, Yemen's my favorite country. I love them, and good for them for being able to. U.S. says, "Oh, it's the greatest fighting force ever." We were able to, Yemen was me and Yemen were able to block that. So it's really good. They are fighting the genocide.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I love my country.
Of course,
However,
some of
my
our leaders,
government has went rogue and it
right,
does not represent my country.
right,
And the propaganda machine is vast and deep. I had conversations with my father and his friends, trying to convince me Trump's doing good stuff, and I'm like, I'm just not seeing it, you know. um, and trying to defend him picking up people without due process. Him saying it's okay to just snatch people with you don't know where they're well, they're illegal. That's what this friend of my dad's kept saying. I'm like, he was here legally. Well, he supports terrorists. I'm like, where's your proof? That's always my thing. Well, show me.
Right.
I said, so, I'm for free Palestine because I'm for peace. So are they going to come after me for saying the words free Palestine? What does that mean to you? He's like, no. I'm like, how do you know? Right. And then I asked him, how many Palestinians have you met? The answer is 0.
Right.
How many have I met? Dozens.
And it's also, it is the propaganda machine that is able to use the word terrorist. All they have to put the label on of terrorist, and then people are all on board, not understanding, not having all the facts. I mean, one of the main facts is most quote unquote terrorists around the world were CIA funded. I mean, they don't understand that it's our government that creates situations of conflict around the world so that they can keep controlling things. So it's, and another thing that, the press does, I just happened to be on the CNN app. Sorry about that. But you want to check and see I actually wanted to check because of a story we're covering later. But there was an article about how they are now, Trump is maybe getting rid of habeas corpus. And I looked through the whole article and it was like, oh, come on. But they also have to mention when Obama did it, right? No, nothing. So that's the other part, is they put things one up against the other. And of course, it's bad in both cases, but present both cases. Obama did the same thing.
Yeah. So it's biased information. They're not giving you the whole story, and you need the whole story to know the truth. And wasn't, okay, relying on my memory now of history, wasn't habeas corpus part of the Magna Carta from like 1215?
Well, you got me on that one. That sounds right.
Sounds good.
If I was on
maybe somebody in the chat will chime in. What's up, Alexandria?
Oh, hey, Alexandria.
Electric Intifada also had an article recently about a weapons show in Athens, which promoted Israel's tools of genocide.
Right. Yeah, everyone check out Electronic Intifada if you're not familiar with it. Actually, it comes out of Chicago. Yay.
Very good show.
And it's an excellent news source. So
yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I did want to give a little update for everybody. We are at, let's see, dun, dun, dun. We've been trying for 500 subscribers to our YouTube channel. It seems to be the most popular platform that we use. We are at 478. We only had 22 more to go.
Oh, wow. You made a banner out of it.
I made a banner.
That's great.
Yeah. So, everybody that's watching, I know Saturday it's nice out, whatever. So all 7 of you that I see, if you can share it to 3 friends, we might hit our 3 or 4 friends. We might hit our 22 today. Wouldn't it be cool?
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. So we appreciate you being here. It means a lot to us. We do this work because, because we love our country, because we love the world, because we want peace. That's why we're here.
And we're trying to bring a platform for the Green Party as a whole. True. Also, we just, we want to be in the space, the YouTube independent media space, because, I mean, that's the place to be. There's a lot. That's where I get most of my news and information. And it's a great concept that has developed, kind of the connectedness between all the different shows. A lot of people have guests on each other's shows, and that's kind of the way that the news gets spread, because you get to meet a personality who's putting out information, and so we're trying to be part of that space. So thank you for subscribing.
Yeah, thank you. And one thing that's also cool about doing the show, we thought it was just going to be Illinois Green Party business, but our sentiments are bigger than that. Like Scott and I pay a lot of attention to national and international politics. So we've brought in guests all the way from East Coast to West Coast, like
Mhm.
Florida, Arizona, California, Maryland. Like, you never know who's going to show up. So that's pretty cool. And then it's kind of creating this network of information and like relationships. And that's how you build something. Um, Posting on social media is good, it gets the word out. But how you get people to show up, personal connection.
Mhm.
So, yeah. So I'm excited about being only 22 away. I'd love for us to reach it today. That'd be super cool. And what did we have next? So we talked about Yemen. Is there anything else that you wanted to mention about Yemen?
Um, I don't think for now. Well, the Freedom Flotilla. I mean, the last I heard is that their plans for that are that they're trying to rebuild and fix the boat, and they plan on going out immediately after they fix that. Now, repairs to a boat. Who knows how long that'll take? But
Mm-hmm.
I'm just hoping that the flotilla gets more attention because it's really important. I mean, there isn't any reason why every country out there shouldn't be sending, flotillas in for humanitarian aid. I mean, I don't know how many days it's been now. It's hard to imagine it. It's so difficult to even talk about that the people of Yemen are starving, and I mean, in Gaza, and I'm sorry, it's difficult, and you see some of the videos, and again, it's the kind of things I can't watch where people are just scrambling to try to get food in Gaza, and so yeah, I the people on the flotilla were just incredibly brave people. Good for
Yeah.
them for actually taking a stand, like Yemen, taking an actual stand and doing the effort and trying to get out there. But we'll
Yeah.
see.
I agree with you. What's wrong with the rest of the countries? Because if you send your own flotilla and Israel bombs you, because that's what happened. Yemen sent a flotilla, Israel bombed it, right?
Yeah.
And now, I mean, and Yemen struck back, right? They hit the airport.
Right,
But
right. Yes, they did a few days ago, and they've declared the airspace, that they are going to be controlling the airspace. So we'll see. I mean, that's we'll see what happens. But I know that they've shot down lots of our drones, a few of our planes. I think we've said that some of the planes accidentally fell, but according to Yemen, they were successful in shooting them down. So we'll see what happens. But it's just exciting news that we hear just our side and all of the destruction that this country is doing and in our involvement in the genocide, and it's really really it's a helpful thing to hear a positive side where somebody else is fighting back. So two groups fighting back, the flotilla and Yemen.
yeah, and people are relying on the ICC and the ICJ. That's only, I'm glad they seem to be on the right track. However, it's up to governments around the world to enforce their rulings. I mean, just like here, like courts can rule on whatever. If you don't have people to go pick people up that not doing it right, that broke the law, that go against the court ruling, then what is it worth? You know, yeah, you need the enforcement of the laws. You don't just need the law just to be out in the ether. Yeah, you
Yeah.
shouldn't be doing that. um, yeah. So yeah, I'm very proud of them and South Africa for bringing the case to the ICC and ICJ.
Right.
I
Right.
have lost track about how that's going because
Yeah, I've not heard either.
nobody's enforcing it. So I think this was what you were talking about. Okay. Yeah. So then we have the next story, I believe, is this one.
Yeah, so pro-Palestinian students arrested at Butler Library in Columbia University, and the NYPD shows up in riot gear, and So again, this is really brave. I really give it to any students now who are still protesting, because the attacks on them are unbelievable. I mean, what has happened to people who are protesting at universities? I mean, they are being scooped up by ICE, and so it's extremely dangerous. And of course, they're being, you know, they're being attacked in every way. In their well, I think that even some people are now not allowed in with their student visas. They're not allowed in the country just because of posts they made. Um, yeah, it's a really dangerous situation. So I think it's fantastic that people are still, you know, they're very brave. I have to give
Yeah,
it to them.
yeah, they are. And they're unarmed, and it just depends. I mean, here it goes again. I go back to this conversation with my dad and my dad's friend. It's like we're in different universes, depending on what news source you use. Excuse me. They're going to spin it one way or the other. So we try to go kind of as straight to the source as we can. And well, even the college is saying, "Oh, they're breaking the rules or whatever," um, you know. But they are lobbying their college to stop supporting a genocide. They have every right to do that. I mean, this was the way it was during the Vietnam War. It came from the students first. That's why they're clamping down on them so hard, because once it really gets hold there and people know about it, it's going to grow. I mean, it already has grown. I mean, look at how many people have been to DC and have been protesting every week. It
Right.
doesn't get covered, but there are probably millions of people in the street.
Oh
Almost
yeah,
every,
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. And they're unarmed.
Alexandria has another comment here.
Okay.
Brad Schneider supported the shutdown of the protest immediately. I came across the statement before I even came across any news articles about it. You're right, right. No, Brad Schneider is certainly, he's District 10 in Illinois, folks, and Alexandria Keating Sofiakis has plans. We haven't formalized everything yet, but is going to be running against Brad Schneider in District 10 in Illinois. And yeah, he needs to be out of there. It's just
Hit the road, Jack.
yeah, no. And again, these folks that are just, all of our Congress people are so focused on Israel just because that's where their funding comes from. So they will do anything they can.
Yeah. Thanks, Alexandria. Yeah, lots of parallels to Vietnam. For people that are older than me that recall it, I don't remember who I was talking to, but some of the pictures really look like the same kinds of things that happened in Vietnam. I mean, the police have these barricades and they're pushing back on these students, just like, I want peace.
Yeah, yeah. And there were similar photos being distributed around Malta, the country at the time, and that was the group that they refused to let the flotilla back in. I don't know if you'd heard that part of the story, that when they were out there, yeah, it was a really bad situation because, the ship was sinking. I mean, it didn't sink, but yeah. And, Malta, they also are, again, it's a country that is just succumbing to the pressures of Israel, like almost all of the countries too. And that is tied in obviously with the US too.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's
here's a little more on this part. This is from Middle East Eye. Okay. Mesa Mustafa. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Columbia students spark uproar with library takeover and renew calls for divestment from Israel. It is their right. That is their school. They should have every right to tell the school how to run it, in my opinion. And, they are supporting a government that is corrupt. So
Columbia,
I'm kind of curious how many people are going to re-enroll.
Yeah, right. No, right.
I mean, they're killing their enrollment by this heavy-handed tactics that they're doing.
Oh, without a doubt. And the number of students who come from other countries. I mean, that no one wants to get involved in this anymore. This is I mean, what they're doing to the students. I was just going to read some of it. Columbia University student protesters have drawn both praise and criticism after 75 were arrested by the New York Police Department for occupying a room at Butler Library, an escalation in their call for the university to divest from Israel. On Wednesday afternoon, 100 university students, led by Columbia University Apartheid Divest, CUAD, took over the Lawrence Reading Room in Columbia's main campus library, renaming it the Basal al-Araj Popular University. There you go. I love creative protests. The action took place in one of the most populated buildings during finals week. Butler Library, which is named after the former Columbia president, Nicola Murray Butler, a man that CUAD accuses of being a shameless Nazi sympathizer. Okay, so that's hence the renaming of the library.
Yeah.
And who limited the number of Jewish people who could attend Columbia and expelled students who protested against Columbia's ties with NYPD entering the
Sorry, there we go.
That's okay. Entering the campus at the written request of Columbia. So hence the renaming of the library. Good. I love when folks who protesters, you have to really give them credit. They really dive into the history, so they have a really good context. Again, that's a historical context of how the universities have not been taking the right side in these different situations. And so good for them.
I was just going to mention that a lot of people don't realize in our history that there was a big rally, a Nazi rally, before World War II
in New York, right?
In New York, yeah.
The
Nazis almost got us before, so now I guess they're back.
Well,
they just don't like anyone. It's all about control, y'all. It's not about any of it. It's just control.
There are so many parallels. I mean, that a lot of the Nazi leaders ended up in. We brought them here for science research. The Manhattan Project. A lot of Nazi leaders ended up forming the beginning formings of NATO. If you look at the first people involved in NATO, Nazis. So I mean, there are ties that we can say we fought Hitler. The reality is that we had a lot of ties to Nazi Germany. Ford,
we may have stopped the war, but we didn't stop the infiltration, right?
Well,
and I also heard in Germany that they're trying to say that we can't call what's happening in Palestine a Holocaust. You own that word. No, you don't. No, you don't. I'm sure there's been multiple Holocausts in the history of the world.
Of course. That's
come on. And that's another thing they do. They try to police the language, like from the river to the sea.
Right.
One side says, well, that means they want to kill all the Jewish people. I'm like, well, I know lots of Palestinians. I've never once heard any of them ever say that.
No, that's never been
from the river to the sea means they want peace. They want to live in peace.
No.
They want a say in their government. They want equal rights.
Right. Ending apartheid. That's what they want. That's not killing everybody.
No, that's kind of the opposite.
Right. Right.
And that conversation was brought up to me about the 7-Day War, which I'd heard of, but I didn't know the details. About, I guess, 7 countries attacking Israel, and they won. I don't know the details on that. Maybe somebody can chime in. But I said, well, have you heard about the Great March of Return? He'd never even heard of it. I'm like, unarmed Palestinians coming to the wall saying, can we please return and tear down the apartheid and, give us equal rights and let us have, freedom of movement, all that kind of stuff. They shot little kids in the kneecaps because they wanted to wound them for the most pain.
And again, right, none of that got covered in the mainstream press. None of it. No. I mean, that's part of, the propaganda. I think Alexandria had one other comment that I thought was...
I was wanting to read a little bit of this more.
Okay, go ahead. Yep.
The rest of the 75 students make it the largest mass arrest on campus since NYPD arrested 109 protesters doing a sweep of Hamilton Hall, and the second Gaza Solidarity encampment in April of 2024. In a video statement, the university president, Claire Shipman, said that she, quote, had no choice but to ask for the assistance of the NYPD, and that, quote, Columbia unequivocally rejects anti-Semitism and all forms of harassment and discrimination.
Oh my God. You know,
I
that
know,
kind of
it's
trope
pathetic.
it's pathetic. It is absolutely
It's
pathetic.
what they're hiding behind. They're
Yeah.
hiding behind anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
It's sad. Um, yeah. What's Go ahead if you got.
Oh, I was just about Malta. Yeah, Alexandria says, especially ironic because Malta speaks Arabic, the only country in Europe that does so. Okay, I did not know that either. Wow. Yeah, it's really pathetic.
What was the mention of Malta? I
Oh,
can't.
Malta refused to let the flotilla back into its well, that was the closest country after they were bombed, and so they were trying to get to land, and
Mm,
Malta was blocking it. And yeah, no, I mean it's just these
yeah,
countries are
that's sorry.
pathetic. And then, of course, they tried to deny that, Israel had invaded their airspace, but then other folks, independent, media, proved that yes, that was Israel in their airspace, 5 minutes before the bomb is dropped. So
Mm-hmm. Yep.
yeah, it's gross to watch these countries just
Thanks for
kowtow.
chiming in, Alexandria.
Yeah,
Yeah, Netanyahu has literally said Israel will control the land from the sea to the Jordan River, and Schneider said nothing. But when Rashida says from the river to the sea, he censures her.
exactly. Yeah, I always thought that that's what that phrase was. It came first from Israel saying, we're going to control everything from the river to the sea. So then that became the slogan of the resistance, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Yeah, I just thought it was a reaction. Of
Yeah,
course, yeah, they're going to turn
yeah.
it into something that is not the
I
case.
mean, they're nitpicking and trying to make it sound like something it's not. When people are brutalized by their government and murdered by their government, they have every right to stand up against it.
Right.
A lot of people on the other, the more Republican side, seem to think that they're two separate countries. No, Israel was supplanted on top of Palestine and
Right.
then began to control the population.
Right.
That's
It's occupied. It's an occupied
occupied.
space. Right. Exactly.
So
Palestine's the country. Israel is the occupier.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there a lot of times people use fear as an excuse. Well, if we give them freedom, then they're going to come kill us. Like,
Yeah. There's already a
pretty
genocide
sure
going.
I mean, you got to like step back into the reasons why. Maybe if you hadn't have like brutally removed them from their homes and stolen their land and murdered their families and made it to where they couldn't survive, maybe they wouldn't want that, because they were all living in peace before. Jewish people, um, um, Christians, Arabic speaking, everybody there was getting along just fine before 19, what was it,
48.
40?
48.
48, but even a little bit before that.
Oh, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was
They were in peace.
I've
Like,
seen the 1899 New York Times article,
oh
and
yeah,
it said, Israel to colonize Palestine. That was the article, and it was like presented as a good thing to do because it's
why?
1899.
I mean, that's where we get into trouble. Like, a group comes in and says, "This is mine now." I
Right.
mean, we've got our own history with that.
Yeah,
We've never come
absolutely.
to terms with that.
No.
My heritage is German. I don't know when my family got here. I don't know the situation, but this is native land that I live on.
Right. Absolutely.
And what was done to them sounds a lot. What is it they say? History doesn't repeat itself, but it certainly does rhyme.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that. That's nice.
Maybe I created it. I don't know. I probably read it somewhere.
No, it's a good one. Yeah, absolutely. People who don't know history are doomed to repeat it. Yeah.
Yep. And then we have our other, I would say, mortal sin in a way of slavery.
Oh God, of course. Right.
So here in this country, it's Native Americans and the enslaved Black population.
Mm-hmm.
the descendants of them. And for people that also say, well, that was then, this is now. Well, it's institutional racism that keeps them from getting where they should have already been had they been free.
Absolutely. No.
Redlining and
Redlining. Yep.
I mean, I didn't know about Tulsa, Oklahoma until the Juneteenth thing kind of took off.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing just fine. It was Black Wall Street. They were in their own community. They were doing well after being freed, freed from slavery, and the townspeople didn't like it, so they went and burned it all down.
Yep. Oh, there's been across the country in the U.S. there were those same situations, and right, most of the people don't know. I was in Springfield and I saw a plaque to a riot that happened, and I was like, "What is this?" I can't remember the year that it was, but yeah. I mean, you have to then dig and do research to find out what happened, because we didn't learn any of this in school. That's for sure.
No, you got to get your own education.
Yep.
I love this, Alexandria. Yeah, every day isn't the same song, but it's all a part of the same album. So.
Oh, wow. All these musical references. I love this.
Yeah, music right now is saving my sanity.
Okay. Good.
And just I got out and went on a long drive to get a present for my granddaughter.
Okay. Oh yeah, music's my thing too. I played last night. I played trumpet, so I played with a group here in Chicago. I play with them a lot. A couple of bands I play with. So yeah, absolutely, music saves you.
It does. It does. Yeah. Some of it like fires you up to go, get out in the street. Yeah, and music was a huge part of the 60s. Right. What motivated people? It started with protests, then it was artists coming in and doing songs and artwork and all the stuff that created like an overwhelming movement. And that's happening now. I think I got an email from Butch saying they're doing something similar. So if you haven't signed up for hopefully our next California governor, Mr. Butch Ware,
there you go.
He's got an amazing email list, and I donate a little bit every month. I can only really afford like $11, but 11's a big thing with him, and I can't remember why. But his emails are fantastic, and you don't have to live in California. This needs to be a nationwide Green Party push, because if we get California, they'll know we can win.
Right.
And
No, I think that's an excellent point. If people are involved in the Green Party, we need to take some things on nationally, and certainly that campaign is the most important campaign right now. Andy Ellis is running for governor in Maryland. That's another big one that I want everyone to check out. And we need to have things really, really pushed other than the presidential campaign every 4 years. We have to be out there and visible. It's really important.
Yeah, I didn't have time this week, but Andy Ellis has been a guest on our show. So if you go to our YouTube channel and look back a little ways, you can find our interview with him. He's got a lot of great ideas.
Yes.
I think we're going to make him a banner pretty soon.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, and Butch was on our show last month, and it was a fantastic show.
There, but Jennifer Sullivan that came on with Rick Last just a few weeks back, she emailed me this graphic. I think she got it from Butch, that there's a map of the United States and some of the states are highlighted in gold. And she's like, oh, is gold for the Democrats? No. Is gold for the Republicans? No. It's for not voting.
Oh, wow.
It was real. So not voting at all is who really won the 2024 election. And seeing it for yourself, Illinois was won. More people didn't vote that could vote than voted for Democrats, Republicans, or Greens, or Libertarians, or any of it.
I didn't know that. Illinois. Oh, shame on you, Illinois. Come on. We got to get our act together. So I'm really surprised Illinois was in that list. Ugh.
I was too. Yeah, wow. I thought, I figured people were engaged, but no. And nationally, I think, it was like 80 to 90 million people stayed home that were eligible to vote. So if you think about it, when those people sit home, there's a couple things going on. A, you didn't really give them anything to vote for. so they think their vote doesn't matter.
Mm.
And B, a minority of the nation gets to choose the leaders of the free world, or however you want to say it, our government, the people that are supposed to represent us.
Yeah. I see Joey Harrington has a comment here too.
Joe, what's up, Joe?
I'm going to put it up.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah. I was on active duty when the 7-day war broke out. The brass sent propaganda to the troops, most of whom had another country on their mind. The country now is a trading partner with us. Yeah. No, I mean, it's the propaganda machine that goes out. It's always been there, that's for sure. It's interesting, you look at old media and you really can see, our media has been propagandized from the very beginning. I mean, now I think it's much worse. Actually, I do think it's much worse. But yeah, no, there's no doubt.
Well, and that's what empires do when they get desperate.
Right.
But I like this comment. As California goes, so goes the other states.
Yeah.
They are the 6th largest economy in the world.
No, the Butch Ware campaign is a really important one, everyone. We keep stressing it, but yeah, we gotta get Butch into office there.
Yeah. And he's not pulling any punches, and he's, he knows what he's talking about. And he's an amazing speaker. Just go check out our show from a few weeks back. And so is Andy Ellis. He has an upcoming workshop for anyone who wants to run green in the US.
All right. We gotta find out. We gotta promote that. Yeah, I think that's that's another really important point, is that consider running for office, whether that's small or even statewide. There are opportunities within the Green Party to do that, and they will give you support. And it's a fantastic way to get word out there of your own opinions on issues. And like we said, Alexandria is going to be running in District 10 here in Illinois in the 2026 election. So we need to really, if you're out there and you're thinking about it, reach out to the Green Party, reach out to us, and or whichever state you're in, because it's an important thing. It's an important way to contribute, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So the next part, see if I can find it here. Oh, here we go. Social media users say Israel's war on Gaza greenlit India's assault on Pakistan. It starts to say Pakistan. I got Palestine in my
wow. There you go.
Yeah. Condemnations of India's attack roll in as many draw parallels to Israel's behavior in Palestine. I mean, since we're allowing this, it's going to spread, y'all. And it's only a matter of time till we have some issues right here in the United States. We already do, but worse.
Did you want? Okay.
Yeah. Social media has been flooded with condemnations after India's attack on Pakistan. Can't see that word. With many suggesting it was emboldened by Israel's assaults on Gaza and the muted response from the international community. So basically, by not acting to protect Palestinians, the world, the nations of the world are giving the green light to well, I guess it's a free-for-all now. We can do whatever we want because nobody's going to stop us. India said on Wednesday it carried out precision strikes on terrorist camps. Wait, does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
Across 9 sites in Pakistan, as its neighbor promised to retaliate. This is from Middle East Eye, by the way. Pakistan said the strikes hit civilian areas, with official Pakistani sources reporting that 26 civilians were killed and 46 injured in these attacks. India's attack on Pakistan has driven many online to draw parallels to Israel's common justification of its attacks on Gaza, which have killed way more than 52,000 Palestinians on unproven claims of terrorist activity.
Now, there is a update. India and Pakistan agreed to a ceasefire after weeks of tension. I'm just going to read a little of it. This is right from CNN. Because, they're saying we'll see. India and Pakistan have agreed to a halt in fighting after back and forth strikes deepened fears of a wider conflict. Officials from both countries said the ceasefire is now in effect, but blasts were heard and India administered Kashmir hours after the announcement. So we'll see. You know,
Oh,
we'll see if that holds or if that's
what's up, Yvonne? India and
yeah,
Pakistan agreed to a
right.
ceasefire today.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with it.
And Joe's like, they both have nukes. Why?
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's super dangerous, y'all. Like,
yeah,
stuff's going on. I think we missed a story. I'm going to see if I can find it about. Did we put it? Did we have it
yeah.
about the lady that the judge ordered? Oh, there it is.
The thing about nuclear is that
Let's do some good news.
the nuclear issue, the problem with it is that if you don't have it and the US wants to destroy you, they will. So that's the problem. Gaddafi got rid of his nukes in Libya, and he did that, and then years later they destroyed him and his country. So
Yeah.
it's a dangerous situation. I mean, I you know the reality is empire goes after certain countries, and in my opinion they need that protection. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm obviously overall anti-war, but here I am cheering on Yemen, right, as they strike. It's like you can't, to be just a complete pacifist will, I don't agree with that. I think you have to be prepared. You have to be able to defend against this empire that the US is. I mean, it's a extremely dangerous country if you're a small country out there.
Well, and that's the reason why North Korea hasn't been taken down.
Right.
Because they have nuclear
They have
power.
nukes, right.
And
right.
that's the reason they're so hot on Iran not to get nuclear power or
Right.
nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
And they were all over them about, what's the enrichment and all that stuff. I don't know about, I don't have a deep knowledge on that, but
yeah, the level of enrichment, the lower levels are for creating nuclear power. Nuclear power plants, correct.
But that's why we want to monitor that, because we want to be able to take them out when we want. I say we, by when I mean we, I mean the United States government, and NATO. So, but now for some good news. I don't know the update on this, but Rameza Usturk, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Tufts student held by ICE released from Louisiana jail. PhD student arrested in March for political speech. Released on Friday after federal judge's ruling.
This is from The Guardian. Look at how they spelled ICE.
What?
Well, it's from The Guardian, but look at ICE. Lowercase c and e. Come on, Guardian. Was that autocorrect?
Put them on ice.
It was probably an autocorrect, right? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Funny.
I guess they were in a rush to talk about it. The Tufts University student arrested in March for her political speech has been released from the Louisiana Detention Center, where she is being held in what she and her lawyers had argued was a breach of her constitutional rights. A federal judge on Friday morning had ordered Osturk's return to Vermont, where she was briefly held after being grabbed on the street by masked immigration agents near Boston for hearings. But the judge decided not to wait for her physical transportation, and she appeared remotely from Louisiana at the hearing in Burlington on Friday. The ruling to release her came at the end of the hearing, where the judge, William Sessions, said that the process by which she was placed in immigration detention, quote, raises very significant due process concerns.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's good news. Yes, we need to hear good news because it's a brutal time. That's fantastic.
What's that band? I'm trying to think. Back in like the early 2000s, good news for people who love bad news or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So take that, y'all that like bad news.
No, this is excellent. And that is one of the issues about the courts fighting Trump is when are they going to jail somebody? That's what I'm interested in. I want to see some jail for contempt. Otherwise, strong language. But that's great that actually happened and that they were released.
Yeah, and that's one of the arguments for, calling somebody a terrorist or an illegal person, which in my opinion, you can do an illegal act, you can't be an illegal person.
Yeah, right.
But it's like a justification to just throw all your rights out the window and disappear you. So you
Yeah.
think that it won't happen to any one of us, you're kidding yourselves. Because once they get that power, just like the Patriot Act, after 9/11, they were in a rush to get the Patriot Act through because it was everybody had their hearts broken and there was such, pro US sentiment because we were attacked, So they just rammed through the Patriot Act and I don't know all the details, but I know it definitely was not a good thing and it created mass surveillance
Yeah.
with no oversight as far as I know. Did you want to put up more comments?
Yeah, there's just Alexandra has another one that I thought was interesting. Thanks again, Britain, always colonizing places and leaving them permanently divided. Right. So it was Britain that negotiated that whole situation of Israel coming in to Palestine. Yep.
In here.
Yeah. Thanks, Britain.
Eventually, and it occurred to me too that, would the people that revolted against Britain here in this country be considered terrorists now?
Yeah. Right. Right.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alexandria's got another comment. People should read Mosey. His philosophy on pacifism is flawless. Always aid defending states against attackers and condemn all unprovoked offensive warfare.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't just let them run over you.
Right. Right. And
it's,
it's a UN declaration that the right to resist. That is a UN declaration that, and in this situation that, Gaza and Hamas has the right to resist because they are occupied.
Oh, did we show this?
Oh, no. Yeah. India exports rockets and explosive to Israel amid the Gaza genocide. So yeah, Israel has also, I had not heard that India was also a supplier of weapons. I knew that the U.S. was number one and Germany was number two, but I didn't realize that. Yeah.
So
India
does it say
also.
where this is from? I'm trying to
see. You can't quite see it. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah. We try to do our due diligence. Yeah. So that kind of brings us, we got almost 15 left. So, the right to protest, right? So Jill is in trouble for trying to protest in St. Louis, and she's been charged with assault. I'm trying to find it. Is it this one here? I think I found it. Green Party candidate Jill Stein faces charges for protest actions. How cool. And I don't think we can show the video again, but if you look back in like one of our March shows, you can probably find it online too. It's obvious that cop was beating her with the bike, basically just pushing her down and just brutalizing her with this bike. And she's facing assault charges for her assaulting the cop. What, with trying not to fall down?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's out there, y'all. Let me try to get it. Prosecutors in St. Louis have formally charged former Green Party presidential candidate Jill Stein and one other demonstrator for their actions during a pro-Palestinian protest at Washington University last spring. The St. Louis Post-Dispatch reported. This is by Susan H. Greenburg and Inside Higher Ed. Just trying to make sure I remember to do that. Stein was charged Friday with first-degree trespass and fourth-degree assault. She has been accused of kicking a police officer and hitting him with a bicycle during a protest last April that resulted in the arrest of more than 100 people, most of them outsiders. According to court documents, I'm sorry, this is blocked out by this little thing. WashU police ordered demonstrators to disperse, but they refused. When officers moved in, I guess to make arrests, Stein linked her arms with other protesters. An officer was injured.
I'm trying to find the date of her court appearance, and I thought I had that because that article's from March. Oh yeah, there it is. I'm sorry. Court is scheduled to appear May 19th. So
yeah. So here's. Let me try to get this without the little graphic there. Let me try to find it so I can read it a little better. Apologize for the delay, y'all. Let's see. Okay, here it is. Oh wow, page not found. Did they take it down?
Well, that's why it said that. Yeah, but this is fine here. Um,
Well, following her arrest last spring, Stein says that was the one assaulted. I got separated from the rest of the crowd, and actually initially felt like there was a lot of safety in numbers, she told KSDK. Then it turned out I was being charged with assault after being assaulted by an officer on a bicycle and basically thrown onto my head. So
yeah, so that is May
Good times.
19th. So that's
oh,
a week from
next
Monday.
week. Yeah.
A week from Monday. So yeah, we'll definitely cover that. And yeah. And I think I said it before that, it's a really, really dangerous time right now. And so I'm concerned that Jill Stein will get charged and jailed for this because, again, labeling people as terrorists because they protest for Palestinian rights. Who knows?
These
What's gonna
protesters aren't terrorists, y'all. The people that stop them are.
happen. Yeah. But that's how the propaganda machine works, and the end result of that propaganda machine is people are going to jail. So protesters who are
So
only
now are we getting into the area of political prisoners?
yeah, they definitely are. I mean, you look at
I know there's been a few.
We've had those in our entire history, all the Black Panthers. I mean, no. There's been a lot of political prisoners throughout our history. So yeah, that's certainly will be stepped up in this situation here. There's no doubt with Zionist control of our government. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I was trying to think of the guy's name, and I can't think of it because I got somebody else's name in my mind. But the guy that sued Chevron and won, and then over them poisoning the rivers in Guatemala. I mean, like just dumping crap. This is the water that the native people rely on for their drinking water and everything. They just crapped all over it, and he beat them. Oh, right. Stephen Donziger. There it goes.
Thank you, Stephen Donziger.
And it was SD, and I was thinking of somebody else. Yeah. So because he won his case, he comes back here, and Chevron doesn't like that. Corporations rule our country at this point. I can't even remember what the charges were. They wanted all of his information. They tried to get his laptop and everything. He refused. I think it was just contempt of court. He was on the longest house arrest in the history of our country for winning a case and refusing to divulge his sources.
Yeah.
This is where we are.
Right. Yeah. No, things are only getting worse here, folks.
Yeah.
Although it was good that they pulled the House bill for it was an anti-Semitism bill, and you were going to be charged, or no, BDS. If you were involved in BDS or promoted it, like on social media, it was the fine was like up to $1 million in jail time. I can't remember the stats, but that bill was in the House, and they pulled the bill. They didn't bring it up for a vote. So obviously we are winning in some places here. Yeah, because
it's bad when Marjorie Taylor Greene doesn't like it.
Well, yeah.
No, you really jumped the shark.
But good point. It was the two Republicans that were very vocal that stopped this bill from happening. The Democrats were not the leaders on stopping the anti-Semitism bill. Yeah.
They're the misleaders.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that brings us to our last thing. Now, we don't have a lot of details on this. It's a global day of action, and it's the May 15th. It's next week. You'll have to go to their website. It is BDS. Oh, I had it.
BDSmovement.net.
BDSmovement.net.
.net. Yes.
So we still got our old banners up there. Hang on. But yeah. So I don't know why they don't have like a map where everything's going to be. Maybe a safety thing. I'm not sure, but this is not ours. This is us supporting the BDS movement and trying to get people out on the street. Maybe you just need to talk to your local people. And I mean, you don't need much. You just need to say, hey, show up here at this time. That's all you need. One text, boom, it's done. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's just, I think that a lot of organizations are all trying to do what they can to bring out awareness. So, I mean, they're all good. We have our own here where we do a monthly uh, general strike for Gaza / Palestine. And right, and it's similar in terms of, to ours is make no purchases, to post on social media everything that you can about Gaza and Palestine and the genocide. And we have demands that, we pull our funding for the bombs that go to Israel, and the apartheid system that exists in Palestine.
Mhm.
So yeah, so yeah, you can look for details. We weren't able to find any, but it is a day of action on May 15th. And so
Yeah. Yeah, and you can contact them. Maybe it's just going to be private so that the people that would shut it down aren't tipped off. This is kind of
well,
what I'm
it
thinking.
said get out in the streets, but it was just
Yeah.
very generic. It
Yeah.
didn't specify any, organized.
Yeah. So Scott and I are members of the Illinois Green Party, and we are working every single day tirelessly to the point that we need to actually take a day off. It's kind of rare. Usually it's a few hours. Just trying to build the Illinois Green Party to where we can compete with the Democrats and Republicans. And apparently, I'm thinking we need to go talk to all the non-voters. I think
Yeah,
that's our base.
right. I know, exactly.
But you can become a member. All you got to do is go to ilgp.org to become a member. You can get involved. We have, we're gearing up our volunteers because we're going to be doing phone banking and door knocking and events and supporting campaigns. I know it's more exciting when there's a candidate because I think that's why everybody in California is excited. Plus, in lots of places across the country about Butch Ware. Because when you see the person, they're the embodiment of the change that you want.
Right.
And I'd like to challenge all 21 people watching. I challenge you to donate $21 to ILGP. There's a little donate link or the QR up in the corner, right
Right.
above Scott's head. I'm probably pointing the wrong way. Um, so you can scan that or just go to ilgp.org/donate.
Yes.
And we can't do it without money. We need supplies. We need, people that can help us accomplish things, like do graphics and like just set up stuff or like bring food to an event or just, we need money to be able to do this. We can't compete with them on money, but we do need some.
Yeah. So reach out to us. Actually, my email is scott.free@ilgp.org. If folks want to reach out in any way. And yeah, we're going to be setting up these campaigns. We're going to be working with Alexandria, and we're going to have a number of other campaigns. Edie is putting together her plans to run for lieutenant governor. And again, these aren't formalized yet, but we're in the works. And so we need assistance. We need financial assistance and other types. So please contact us, reach out to us.
Time, money, talent. That's what we need. Time, money, or talent. Or all three.
And you can, the main place is ilgp.org. If you just want to check out the website and see what's there. We have t-shirts that we are selling now.
I'm wearing the old one today.
Oh, but we have new black ones.
We new black ones that our new producer, Leo, was instrumental in creating. And we, everything at Green Party is a team effort. Nobody does anything alone. So you get an idea and then you search around and find people that can help you with that idea. That's kind of how it works.
Right.
And Alexandria has maybe my favorite comment of the whole show.
Okay.
Turns out the dim rumors were false. The Green Party does exist in midterm years.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? Wow. I know. It's a battle, and of course, whenever they say that, they know it's not true, but they're just trying to convince the public that the Green Party isn't worth being around. And so it's all propaganda. It's all hate speech. AOL's hate speech. AOC.
AOC, whatever.
Oh my God. Yeah, AOC's hate speech. But no, it's all propaganda. And we are out here and we are gonna, make a difference. We are definitely putting things together and a lot of the finances go to getting advertising, to getting the word out. So
yeah, to create flyers. I mean, oh my gosh, people really respond to mailers. Do you know how expensive that is? um, and yes, I'm going to run. And what I wanted to say, I've got Green Party's blessing right now. And they're gonna teach me how to run. I've never ran for anything before, but it's I'm kind of in this situation where the problem is so bad, and I feel like I am able to listen to people, and that I will do my best to serve their needs. There's so many things that are wrong in Illinois. Like, we have a moratorium on the death penalty. That's not abolishing it.
Right.
We have a universal health care bill in committee. They send things there to die.
Right.
We have an anti-BDS law.
We do.
Here.
Yep.
And why? Like, you're saying that I can't use my speech?
Right.
How's that okay? And then didn't Pritzker do something against the workers, the Amazon workers recently?
Yes.
Like, there's just so much, they put on a good PR show. They, because they have the money to back it up. So yay. I got a yay.
Breaking news.
I'm excited too.
I think we're not supposed to officially talk about it until we do it, but whatever,
I'm planning to.
Approved.
I'm planning to.
Yes.
Based on approval, because the Democrats are enablers, in my opinion. And I know there's good people out there that have a D behind their name, but I'm sorry. Democrats are the party of genocide now.
Right.
And I'm not mad at the voters. I'm mad at the people that are running inside of the party.
Right.
You volunteered to put that D behind your name. And what you probably don't realize yet is that they're going to make you sign a paper saying, should you lose your primary, you have to support the nominee and you have to give us all your data. Yeah. So at least run independent, even if you're not sure about Greens yet. But Greens do have a lot of tools to help you. So, and that's the training I'm going to go through. I've been an activist for a very long time, over 10 years.
Absolutely.
And
that's the kind of candidates we want. We want activist candidates. That's the point. That's the point of what we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. It started with, voting Green in 2000, but a vote is just like entry level. It's important. Electoral politics is important, but most people just vote and then they don't worry about it for 4 years. Yeah. But then I started with Bernie. I worked really hard for Bernie twice. Fool me once, fool me twice. Not happening a third time. And I did March for Medicare for All, and I've been searching for my people, the people that embrace what I can give. The things that I can give them, and the ways that I can serve. Now I'm kind of semi-retired, so I have time to invest in this, and I'm very happy about that. Yes. I feel like I've been trying to get to this space for a really long time. And as Zakir Siddiqui said, we are the electoral arm of the social justice movement.
Right. That's I know, my favorite slogan for the Green Party. Thank you, Zakir, because it really sums up what we're trying to do. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to be in a party that's just as such, their concepts are selling out to the degree that all they care about is winning. That's and again, they'll do anything to win. Hence, they will take money from people who want, the destruction of Gaza, and they will put out anti-Semitism bills, as silly as that is, because they know that they're just trying to cover the genocide. And to be involved in that, you should be ashamed of having a D next to your name. That's not a good thing, people. Or an R, of course. We don't harp on them as much because that's kind of a given in our world. Having an R by your name is pretty horrific, except Thomas Massey does some good stuff occasionally. But it's just, no. And again,
go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, again, it's kind of like, we point to the one person in the party that might be doing something good, and there's the one person, Ilhan Omar, or somebody who might be doing something good in the party. Well, if 99% of your party is horrific, what are you doing there?
Yeah.
Right.
What good is winning? What good is winning if you can change nothing? If the leadership of your party will not let you change anything?
Nothing.
I mean, it's a hard line of you can't get what you want at all. No fair-minded, it's a dictatorship in there.
You will never
And
get,
they will destroy you if you say free Palestine too loud, or even at all.
you know,
Um,
Obama in his 2008 run promised to codify Roe v. Wade. The second he got in, he was asked about it. There are videos of both of these situations. He said that's not our priority.
yeah.
So these people do not.
Now I will say there is a balance that needs to be had in any kind of structure. You have to have some rules that are agreed upon, and you have to have a process to get things done. So, here at the Green Party, we're all about process. We're all about our bylaws, trying to make sure that we follow what the membership wants, equal with what the bylaws, which people spend a lot of time writing, I'm sure, because they're super detailed and they're on our website if you want to go take a gander. I've been reading them for 2 weeks straight, I think, and still learning. You got to have that balance because you can't just have people come in and throw everything out the window. There has to be some kind of structure to get the things done so we can go up against the Democrats and the Republicans and try to win elections. That's what it's about. If you want to run too, you can email us. There's a little, I think there's a form on the main
Oh,
page.
that's
If
true.
you can
Right.
volunteer
That
or run
is.
for office.
I forgot about that. You could actually get the process started right on the website. Yep, that is true.
And there's I think it's in resources. There's a questionnaire you have to fill out to get the Green Party's okay. I do believe you have to be a member, but you can be a member for $12 a year.
Yeah.
If you don't have a lot of money, and if you are fortunate enough to have a little more, we ask for $60 a year for people that are doing okay. Yeah, or $10 a month, I think also kind of works. And we love recurring donations, just saying, because we can count on the money.
Yeah.
So we don't strip the budget out for the next month, do one thing for one candidate maybe, and then the next one we ran out of money. So if you can make it recurring, so I'm still challenging everyone to donate $21. Let's do that. So I think that's it for today.
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody for coming in and joining us on the Green live stream, because it's important that we are keeping up with what's going on in the world, and that we are being an active voice ourselves, because I think that's what the Green Party needs to do, is to be also another voice out there that people are looking to. So
I'm trying to see who our next guest is. So keep talking, Scott.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah. And I think we've already kind of communicated the different ways you can get involved, and really getting involved by coming to the live stream and is really fun. And, putting comments in, we don't get to all the comments, but we try to, and to at least get people involved, because it's a good space. And I love this technology that we have, where we can all communicate through a central system, and just, have a weekly schedule, and you can, be on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter and see us. And so, yeah, we love that we have this opportunity. And I want to thank the Illinois Green Party for giving us this opportunity to do this show, because it's my favorite thing about the Illinois Green Party by far. Yeah.
So hi, Kimmy. Thank you. And Elvira says
comment. Well, I'm trying. I'm trying to have a commentary show. No, yeah.
I'm sorry. The show's pretty much over. I would like you to comment on.
Oh, I don't follow religion. I'm not a religious person, and I don't. But it was really fun to watch. In Chicago, the local Channel 9 News. That was a really fun day. I made sure when I heard that the Pope came from Chicago, I was like, okay, turn on the news. And it was really cute. I think the best thing that I saw was he is the youngest of three brothers, and they interviewed one of the brothers, and he talked about how when they were little kids, like he said, there were two moms, one down the street, one around the, who would say to them, they were like, he's going to grow up to be the first American Pope. And, they all thought, oh, please, come on. Isn't that cool? So this kid must have been just, been a Pope from day one. But, no
it's that hometown pride kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, no commentary on the Catholic Church. Don't get me started.
No. But the Pope that just passed, he was in support of a ceasefire. That's one of the last things he said.
Yeah.
So despite all the, however you feel about the Catholic Church, I feel like he was probably a good man.
Yeah. I just feel like, that institution of power, with all of the power they have, that they don't get involved in, stop. I mean, that's what I don't like. I don't like the standing by. I mean, I'm even kind of, I harp about, how great China is and all that, in Russia. And it's like, I criticize them too for not getting involved. We have to stop this. We have to stop this genocide. Every single country should be involved in stopping it, which means stopping the U.S. from doing it.
I'm not sure what role religion should play exactly, but I know separation of church and state protects both the church and the state, because once you put them together, everybody's in trouble.
Right.
However, they can do mutual aid. They can pressure people for humanitarian goals and to end war and to create peace. Use their faith as like a pressure on the leaders, but not make them the same.
Well, but I would kind of push back, even though I'm an atheist. I'm not a supporter of the religious institutions. I mean, I'm not an expert on Yemen, but it really sounds like it is the religious force here that is helping to get the moral concept around this to fight the genocide. So I'm pro-Muslim religion in this case. Absolutely.
Okay. This I don't know about. But I'm going to put it up because just so people can see what you said. Hamas called Pope Francis a friend to Palestinians. He left his Pope mobile for the children of Gaza to be used as a clinic.
I did hear about that. But again, that all sounds well and good. Would they bring it in there? Does the Catholic Church do any action? That's, again, it sounds nice, sure, but.
Yeah, they have a lot of money and power. Churches do. They have a lot of land. Why aren't they growing gardens to feed the homeless? Just saying. Anyway, so I think that's our show. Our next guest is Sarah Maria.
Oh, okay.
I've not met her yet. Okay. She was brought to us by our previous producer, Mr. Ariel, which I miss dearly if you're listening.
If you're out there, Ariel.
Not just because of the work he does, because he does amazing work. He created our video. That's that intro video and outro video. He helps us set up our show so we're not bumbling around because, we're that's not our strength. We like to talk and organize.
Right. It's hard to do it at the same time. There are people in the online space that are really good at that, but we scramble. We're kind of.
However, Ariel is just a good guy, and I love him to pieces. I hope you're listening. I just like having him around. He's fun to be around. So I get to meet him in Seattle in person. That was really cool. And
we love our other producer, Leo.
Yeah.
Thank you for everything you're doing. Leo helped put today's together. He's not here today, but he helped put it together. So thank you.
We're trying to get our rhythm. We'll get it. But we really appreciate Leo. He helped us get t-shirts done. He was trying to get Illinois Green Party organized in a way to help us get more people, kind of a tiered system. Here's your entry level and all this. Me, I'm just I'm jumping both feet. So that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Mother's Day plan.
Yeah, but I just want to thank everybody for coming and it's great that everybody is involved here at the Green Live Stream, and thank you for supporting us.
Yeah. Yep. And donate $21 and get involved and come check us out on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Sarah Maria.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye now. An uprising, we're rising up. It's an uprising, we're rising up. It's an uprising, fight the power. It's an uprising, fight the power.